Now, here's something that we didn't talk about, but I want to mention because one of my stops was at a station called KMAG in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and that's considered Oklahoma, and things are different in the South because Fort Smith, although not a major market that you would find in Little Rock, Fort Smith and the surrounding area, it's right at the border of Oklahoma. It was a medium market. However, we would air rodeos on the radio.
Are you serious?
Rodeos would get played on
wow.
the station. Yeah, so that's a different dynamic. That was new to me.
So like on the weekends?
Well, there was a rodeo that would come to town, the Arkansas-Oklahoma State Fair. Yeah, you heard me. That's what it was called, the Arkansas-Oklahoma State Fair. Anyway, so this
and of course it got sponsored and the station made money and all that.
All that. And it was like like we had Montgomery Gentry in to play that one year. It was like and one of the things that they would have was this Diablo rodeo. And it wasn't a normal rodeo, Shaun, I'm not kidding. What Diablo rodeo was 4 or 5 cowboys would get in a small area and they would let 14 to 16 live wild bulls, and the whole contest was not to get gored. That's
a visual thing.
I know, but it was played on the radio. Listen, it's Arkansas, bro. Listen, there's a lot of things that happen in Arkansas that
I mean, how does that translate over audio through radio?
I saw things in Arkansas.
I can't see it.
I saw things in Arkansas that I never thought. I saw a 5-year-old on a full-grown horse handling it like he was a pro.
Wow.
You see things. Yeah, Arkansas was a whole other. But my point is, medium market showing rodeo, airing rodeos on the radio. That was
you were there. You were there too long as well.
Yes. But I left our friend Corey there.
How long? What were you there? About 3 years? 4 years?
I was there for just under 3 years. Yeah.
2 years too long.
Well, I mean, it's a mixed bag, Shaun, because it was in 2008, and the economy took a dive, and I went from working at JR, teaching at Specs, and working at Comerica Park to being jobless. So it was either that or work at a steakhouse somewhere, and I wanted to stay in radio. So Corey brought me to Arkansas, and that's when I realized it was almost like when I went to Arkansas, I entered an episode of the Twilight Zone. I'm not even making that up. Talk to Corey, he'll tell you. We've had shows about it. In fact, I think we're going to plan a show. I'm trying to organize a show between me and Corey and a guy named Alex, who also has Midwest ties. The three of us, 3 Yankees working in Arkansas. It was they should have made a sitcom because it was culture shock and it was entertaining.
Next time you talk to C-Dub, I call him C-Dub.
Yes,
Corey.
Tell him what you're going to say. Joe Diffie. Now you can't just throw that out there. Explain that.
He would just he'd stand outside the studio or he'd walk in the studio. And it was just how I back-sold or front-sold the song. I'd be like, here's Joe Diffie on 97.5 White Country. And it just became a running joke.
Well, it's funny because you know about Corey and I's running joke. Well, it's not a running joke. You know about the first time Corey and I met, right?
No.
It was my first day at WSJM because I got hired in at the news station.
Yeah.
And I was 5 minutes... actually 2 minutes away from my first turning on the mic and reading my first newscast on the station. Corey opens up the door of the studio, looks at me and says, "Hey, Gail said that if it's not too much trouble, try not to suck." And he closed the door and he walked away, and I was like, what the fuck was that? That's Corey Winfield.
Corey Winfield.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's Corey Winfield. Yeah.
C-Dub.